this haircut, you will need a set of clippers, a small edger, a pair of scissors, a comb, a cape, a water bottle to wet the hair down, the number 2 clipper guard, and the number 1 clipper guard. And if you really want to get a super clean finish on the end result of the haircut, an Andes Pro-Foil Lithium Shaver. It isn't completely necessary, but I feel like it really gives a great clean finish to the haircut that we're going to be doing today. I will have a list of recommendations for you to look at and choose what will best fit your needs and your budget. I will see you in the course. To start this haircut, I am going to comb through the hair to get an understanding of how the head is shaped so that I know where to start and stop the fade. This will also help me know where all the cowlicks are so that I can avoid them or work around them to get the best end result. I feel like I have a good understanding of how I want the cut to look, so we will jump right in. You will start with the clippers for this haircut. If you notice on the side there is a lever. This lever is to adjust the blades on the clipper. So having the lever in the closed position or pointed towards the front of the clipper, you will have a 0. Opening it a little bit, you'll have a 4th, and opening it all the way, you will have a 1/2. So opening it all the way is with the lever completely towards the back of the clipper. So for this haircut, you will be starting at a full 0, so with the lever completely closed. So start at the center of the neckline and go to about the occipital bone. The occipital bone is where the skull and neck meet. It's just a slight curve in the head. So you'll stop right there at the occipital bone. And then you'll continue the line all the way around to behind the right ear, making sure that the line is pretty straight. And then you'll continue around the left ear, again making sure that the line is straight. And you can go back and you can clean up any of the line that you feel like it looks a little uneven, keeping in mind to make sure that it's even around the head, so it's not slanted right or left, it's even all the way around. So then we're gonna go just about probably a 1/4 of an inch above the ear. And keep in mind that the clippers don't have a guard for this part, so be careful when you're cutting around the ear not to catch any of the skin around their ear and nick them. So move the ear around if you need to. So we'll connect the line and we'll straighten that line up. Making sure it's pretty straight. And then you'll repeat that on the left side of the head. So again, check that that is straight, so the sides are going up to the same spot on either side of the head. So then you're going to switch over to your 1 clipper guard, and you're going to keep it in the closed position. So this is the open position, and you want to make sure that it's closed. So with that lever facing towards the front of the clipper. So we're going to go probably about 1/2 inch with this length. And again, you'll start at the center and then work your way around. So you always want to start at the center to make sure that the haircut is even. If you start on either side, it's easier to slant the haircut or not have an equal distance all the way around. So you don't want that because it will mess up the haircut or it'll make it just look really uneven. So always start at the center and then work your way either to the right or to the left. We are going to be continuing over the ear. And again, even though you have a clipper guard on your clippers, make sure you're mindful of the ears and move them out of the way so you're not hurting the person you're cutting hair for. So again, you're going to want to make sure that the lines are straight that you're creating with this one. And then you'll continue it, of course, on the left side of the head as well. So I'm sure you're thinking right now that this looks terrible. So we have the 0 harsh line that we made in the haircut. And then we have the really hard line that we made with the 1 clipper. But don't worry, we're gonna blend that out. So you're gonna turn your clippers off and you're going to switch over to the number 2 guard. And the lever is still going to remain closed. So again, we're gonna go about another 1/2 inch up into the haircut. Start at the center and then work your way around. And you don't want to go too far up into the haircut. We want to leave quite a bit of length on the top so that we can work with blending it and getting the shape that we want for this haircut. So again, you're going to be going all the way to the front, so over the ears. And you're going to make sure that the line that you're cutting is even and straight. So as you can see, we've created some very visible lines in here. We have our 0 line, we have our 1, and then we have the 2 on the top. And here on the top we haven't blended yet. But for this middle line here, I'm going to show you how to blend that out. So you're going to go back to your number 1 guard. You're actually going to open the lever this time. So you're going to get a 1.5 length. And you're just going to lightly touch that line. You don't want to go too far up into the line because then you will be cutting the 2 length that we just cut to a 1.5. And we want to have the 0, the 1, and the 2 in there. So as you can see, there's where we blended, and then there's where we haven't blended. So we're just gonna continue working with that until the line is completely blended. So just lightly touching that line. And then again, for this part, be mindful of the ear. Move it out of the way if you need to, just so that you can get a better working area for the clippers. And then of course you'll do it all the way around the head, so you'll do it on the other side as well. And then you can always go back and just touch it up again if you need to. So now we're going to take the clippers and we're going to leave the blades in an open position, so you're going to get a half. So this part is a little bit tricky in the sense that you want to just work in between those lengths to clean up that harsh line that we created with the 0 length. So we'll take that half clipper and we'll touch up the bottom line there. And again, we're just lightly touching this line. We don't want to go too far up into the haircut because it'll just create more harsh lines that need to be blended. So just lightly touch that line all the way around to just soften it a little bit. And then again, because we're back to a no guarded clipper, make sure that you're being mindful of the ear. So that takes us to the end of the clipper portion of this haircut. In the next video, you will learn a new technique to blend the back. So I will see you there. For this portion of the haircut, you want to wet the hair down before cutting the top. It's important to keep the hair fully dry or fully wet to ensure that the haircut is even. You'll also need to decide what side the part will be on. The model for this haircut has a part on the left side. For this portion of the cut, you will be using a scissor over comb technique. To do this, comb up through the hair and angle the comb towards yourself. And then you'll cut the longer pieces that you see. So as you're doing this, you want to make sure that the back of the comb is touching the head and you're angling the comb towards yourself so that you're not cutting up into the haircut too short. And you'll keep doing this until the hair is fully blended. You can comb the hair down and just see how it lays. That's always a good thing to do here and there, just to see how you're doing. I like to work in smaller sections, just to make sure that I'm not getting overwhelmed. So as you can see, there's the harsh line, and then there's where we've blended. And I'm just gonna have you blend just behind the right and the left ear, and then we'll do the sides together in the next video. The scissor over comb technique does take a little bit of practice, but once you're able to get it, it's a really fun thing to have in your knowledge, in your repertoire of being able to cut hair. But as you can see, that line is pretty much fully blended, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. In the next video, we will be blending the left side, the side that has a part, or the right side if your model has a part on the right side. So for this portion of the haircut, you're going to be blending the left side of the head. If the hair is dried at all, make sure to wet it down so that the cut remains even. So for this section, you will be using the same technique as you did when you blended the back, using the scissor over comb method. So as you did in the back, comb the hair down to see how it lays and keep blending if need be. And you'll be going all the way forward to the front of the face to blend that line out. So again, if if the model that you're cutting hair for has the part on the right side of the head, this will be the right side of the head that you'll be working on, not the left. So again, just combing through it, seeing how it lays, making sure that there is no harsh line that you can see. And if there is, just blending it out the best that you can. And again, just work in small sections and go slow. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. So in the next video, we will be doing the same technique but on the right side of the head, or the left side of the head if the part is on the right side. So I will see you guys there. So for this portion of the haircut, we're going to be blending the right side. If you need to wet the hair down at all at this point, then you need to go ahead and do that just to make sure that the haircut remains even. And then also, if the person that you're cutting hair for has their part on the right side, this will be the left side, not the right side of the head that you'll be blending. So I'm combing the top section out of the way a little bit because that's still going to remain part of the top section of the haircut, and this side is a little bit different because I will be blending the top with this side of the haircut as well, whereas the side with the part, you're just blending it to look well with the part, where this is going to be blended with the top. So I'm combing the hair out of the way, I'm blending that harsh line that you see there. And I'm, again, as we did in the back and on the left side, you're going to blend that line with the scissor over comb technique, and you're going to be combing it down just to see how it lays and to see if there's any other areas that need a little bit more work. So in the next video, we will be blending the top of the haircut, and we will be blending it with this side. I will see you there. Okay, so for this portion of the haircut, we're going to be blending the top. Again, if the hair needs to be wet down at all, make sure you do that just so that the haircut is staying even. So the length of the top is totally up to you how long or how short you want it. For my model, they would like to have 2 inches remaining, so I'm going to be cutting off probably about 1 inch. So a little tip, if you notice on your comb, there are small dots along the back of the comb. And so in between those dots measures about an inch. So there's 3 inches, so I'm gonna be cutting off about an inch of hair. So I'm gonna be starting the guide in the front at the bang line, and I'm going to use my fingers as a guide, and I'm gonna be careful not to cut past my knuckle, my second knuckle, and into my hand. Just make sure I don't cut myself. So there's that guide that I created, and I will be matching that with what I'm cutting now. And then as the head curves, you want to curve with the head. So I've cut that guide in the front of the hair, and now I'm going to comb everything forward, and I'm going to cut a mohawk section matching the guide that I just cut. So I'll be starting at the front, and I'll be matching that guide that I just cut. So there's my guide, and then that is what I'll be cutting off. So again, I'm going to readjust my hand so that I'm not cutting past my second knuckle or into my hand, just to make sure that I'm staying safe. And we'll continue that guide all the way back. So now that I have that length cut in the center of the hair, I can now take block sections on the top and match the rest of the haircut with that length. So I'm again going to start in the front. So I'm going to match up that line, and again, be careful, unlike me, not to cut past your second knuckle or into your hand. And again, as you did with the front, you want to make sure that you stay with the curve of the head. So I'm going to stop about where the head starts to curve, and we'll go back and do that part together. That's where the hair starts to blend with that right side or left side, and I want to make sure that that's even. So I'm taking that length throughout the rest of the haircut. Alrighty, so for this side where we blend it, as you can see, we've kind of created a harsh line again. So we're going to be going through and we're going to be cutting that point that we created off. And then we'll just double check and make sure that it's blending nicely with the rest of the haircut, or the top of the haircut. And then we'll comb down and see how that looks as it's laying there. And that looks pretty good, but if you need to, you can go through and just lightly touch that line to make sure it's even more even and make sure that that line is fully blended. So then you'll double check everything, make sure that it's all even. So in the next video, we'll be edging the haircut and doing finishing touches. I'll see you there. So for this part of the haircut, you're going to be edging through the front hairline just to clean up any fine hairs that the clippers may not have been able to catch. You can use just a regular clipper for this, but the results aren't going to be as fine as if you were using the edger. So you're just going to go through and you're going to clean up that front hairline. And you want to be careful not to go too far into the hairline. So you'll just be going through the front temples, the right and the left, and if need be, you'll be going around the ear as well. If you are not going to be using the Pro Foil Lithium Shaver, which we'll be covering in the next video, you can continue using this edger all the way around the hairline just to clean up the neckline, around the ears. But if you are going to be using the shaver, I will see you in the next video where we will learn how to use that tool. For this portion of the haircut, you will be using the Pro Foil Lithium Close Shaver. And this is going to be giving the haircut just a really nice finish. You don't have to use this, but I really like the results that it gives. If you do decide not to use this, again, you can go through the hairline with the edger or your clippers and just clean up the neckline and behind the ears and around the ears. So to start with the close shaver, you're going to start just at the bottom where you see the hair. And you're just going to go really slow and slowly move up the head. So as you can see, it just gives a really nice clean finish that not even the clippers or the edger is going to be able to give. And it's going to give that true zero, or just not a bald finish, but it is just a true zero finish here. So again, just go really slowly. You don't want to go too quickly. You just keep moving up the back of the head. And you are going to be kind of going with the shape of the head, so you want to kind of round out that edge. And it's up to you how far up you want to go. You can just clean up the hairline with this, or you can do what I'm doing, and I'm going to go all the way up to that first length that we have. And then if hair grows down farther, down their back, you can move the cape. And thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe.